show you two ways of draw the peptide. The first way is if you receive the peptide coming home in the powder form on these little vial, then you will need to mix the sterile water with it. So with that, for example, my GHK cover, the BPC 157 and TB 500, it come in as a powder form. And depending on the instructions, some of the vial will tell you to add 6 milliliter or 1 milliliter or 2 milliliter. So based on those instructions, you will know how much to draw from that sterile water. So usually you will have this syringe. It either in a 3 cc, meaning 3 milliliter, and the needle is big enough of a 22 gauge, sometimes can be 25 gauge. And in this video, I'm just gonna attach them as if I would do it. So you would take this and this off from this package, attach them together. When you have a needle together, you basically should draw out these amount, depending on what the instruction tell you to do. And then you draw back in. You drop back in. Basically, you push the needle inside these vial and shake them together. As a result, then you will have these color because of the copper. Therefore, you have a blue color. But as a result, these solute, which is the powder, is mixed completely with the vial, like right here. It's very tiny vial. So now, way number 2, the second way, is when you receive a compounding peptide to your home, it often will have a already mixed vial, just like this. So you don't have to really play around with these needle or the sterile water. That doesn't need to be with mixing. So what you would do is you follow the instruction of how much of the amount that you need to draw out. And in this, I have the little syringe. It is a 50 unit or 0.5 milliliter. It's a 50 unit. If you look at it, it is a 5, let me just make sure for the syringes. The needle is very small, and that is 5/8 inch. So very little, about 4 to 6 millimeter depth of the needle. So basically you can see this is like this. It's very small amount. And what you would do is you would clean off the top of each peptide and with the alcohol pad. And you can also make sure to clean the site of your injection, which is usually on your abdomen, 4 quadrant. You use umbilical cord as a needle and you do 1, 2, 3, 4. You only need to inject 1 quadrant at a time, closer to the umbilical cord, and often you pinch the skin. I would not show my skin, so don't worry. Pinch the skin and you would go straight in. 90 degrees, so very simple. It stings a little bit. It doesn't hurt that long. In the same day, you may feel a little bit of discomfort, but it won't last that long for you. So in this video, I will demonstrate to draw out because that is the most important thing. So this top doesn't really need anywhere. You can just throw them away. Since my top is clean with alcohol pad and the needle is like this, I like to flip the vial like this upside down. You go in the middle of the center, right? Go in the middle, 90 degree in. So this is how you would do it. So in the middle, I'm just gonna make sure that you can see. Straight in, it can hold on to it. Now, each line of the syringe is 1 unit, okay? So you will draw out, for example, this one, I mark it for myself, a 10 unit. I will draw down. Usually for the color, I use it last to draw because it can mix up with the other. And then when the black line meet the line that you need for 10 unit, you push out, and that was 1. And because I have stacking different peptides together, so I will draw 2 more times. The only time that you don't want to stack the peptide with is a semaglutide or tirzepatide or retatrutide, because those have different mechanism and they don't play well together with other peptides. So for the other two, what I would do is the same thing. The different thing is that I will push this down a little bit, so therefore those bubbles will be the separation between the peptide. They don't mix them together, because sometimes when you push them in and you draw out, a little bit of the previous peptide will also mix inside the other vial, and we don't want that. So what I want to do is I kind of push down about 5 units down, and I know how much I need to draw. So this one I need to draw about 4, and I will know exactly what mark I need to aim for. So when I draw them out, I will draw based on that mark. So flip them upside down, push them in the middle of the syringe. It won't push in because there's no vacuum, which is very helpful. And then I will go into that mark of 4 unit. When the drop doesn't drop down anymore, I know, okay, that is all the pressure from the plunger were able to draw out the amount. So this one I have about 14 units done. So we finished this. Now I have a third one, and the same thing. This one is 6 units. So the same way, I will draw in the middle, push in, draw down to 6 more units. Some peptide thicker than the other, just depend on the viscosity and the consistency. So what you want to do is you want to make sure of what you have is what you need. So I have 10 plus 4 plus 6, so 20 total. I want to make sure the total of 20 unit will be there. When I get to the mark of 20 total with the interval, then I know that's the time that I need to stop. About 2 more. About 1. This is a little thicker. This is sealing for the memory and cognitive function. Just 1 more. There you go. So now I have it good. There you go. Flip it up and store these in your fridge. And I often also make sure I mark what data I open and how much per time that I need to draw out, so I don't have to go back and forth with the paper. So now you have this syringes like this, right? There's no bubble in between, so they don't need to flick a lot. You just need to push up the plunger up, so therefore all these bubbles will come out. So keep pushing a little bit slightly, because these can be very sensitive. And you push all the bubble until, let me show you this one. I think that's easier right here. Until you see a little bit of the water, you see that? Or the fluid. If that's the case, then you push back a little bit. These does draw up, because I want to make sure I have everything I need. All right, so what I would do is, now the bubble coming back up again, I'm gonna flick it until the surface area doesn't stay anymore, and I would do it 1 more time. Okay, so there you go. So that is good, and now you're ready to inject. So basically you pinch your belly and you aim for 1 quadrant at a time, and often you do the same time of the day every day. I usually do 5 days per week, just to make sure your body can have time to regenerate and rest, while the other 5 days you having a peptide in your body. And just pinch it, go 90 degree in, push all the way and come out. And in the end for these, I often drop them off inside a jar or a plastic bottle, and you can mark it as a syringes, so whenever you throw them away as a big chunk, then in the garage or the trash location, they will know that this is a syringes for medicine. So that should be good.